Okay, so woke up this morning, turned on the iPad, and saw a great win by our women's basketball team. That was awesome. That was the first thing I looked at, and that's inspirational for them to come from where they have been the last couple of years to taking on Marquette and beating them. Then I had to get back to what I do and think about cross country. We're excited to say the least. There's 346 teams that compete in women's cross country, and to be one of the 31 that are at the national championship is quite an honor. And now you're one of 31 teams that has a chance, and all you want in life is a chance. And we're going to go there and put on our turquoise uniforms and give it a shot. We will line up. The lineup will change a little bit from the regional. It'll be Alice and Edna, Wayne, Charlotte, Alondra, Kieran, and Alex Buck, with Sophie Eckel being the alternate for the race, as well as a couple of others. But that's the team we're going to go with. Should be a lot of fun. It's you go into it. It's a lot different than 2015. This one is 4 or 5 teams on any given day. Those 4 or 5 teams can win and just give it our all. On the men's side, Josh Kerr, who's a miler, will be representing UNM in the national championship in cross country. He ran a great race at the regional, and now we're looking forward to seeing how he can do against national competition. And then on Saturday at about 11:15, indoor track starts. So, so there you go.
What are you expecting out of I know you guys have conquered pretty much your different things that you've done this year. How tough is this field going to be, and what kind of performance?
Well, when you have Colorado, who's beaten us twice, one by 4 points, one by 8 points at the regional, they're the #1 team in the country. San Francisco is an outstanding team, and then you throw Oregon and Stanford in the mix. And Stanford's just kind of getting going. They held out a lot of kids real early in the season, and now they're starting to put some back in, including Christina Aragon, who will be running, and Elise Craney, who are 2 very solid runners that have just now kind of emerged at Stanford. So you just hope you get out there and have a good run. It's going to be nuts. It's 255 women all trying to get to the first turn. So it's a pretty sharp turn in Louisville, and just make sure you're in the right position and hope you're not one of those people that gets pinned in.
Do you guys have any pre-race rituals or anything?
Nah. No, not really. We don't do that, other than we wear turquoise at national championships. That's our ritual, to wear turquoise in honor of the state of New Mexico and the university. So that's our ritual.
What about their diet and that? Like, when you get close, do you control what they eat and stuff?
Well, I can tell you, when anybody orders shrimp, we make a specific point to go back and tell the chef to overcook it. So, so control what you can control. We came back from the regional championships, and we were wearing surgical masks. We're on a plane, and you can get sick, and it's, you're just trying to limit your risk. Today they were out on a run along the river. And the first thing I thought was, I forgot to tell them not to run the trails, because now the leaves are on the trails, and you can step on a root, twist your ankle. Luckily, we made it through unscathed, so that's good. So yeah, little things. Wash your hands, take care of yourself. Tomorrow's a long travel day for us, so we don't land in Louisville till 12:15 at night. So we're gonna have to make sure we eat throughout the day, because once we get there, there's not gonna be any food open in Louisville at 12:15. And quite honestly, if it is, it's probably not very good for you. So.
Awesome combo.
Yeah, we got White Castle down there. You can never go wrong with White Castle.
What does Thursday and Friday look like in terms of preparation?
Thursday we will go to the course and run the course. Some people will run it, some people will walk it. Friday we will not go to the course. We have to do some technical meetings and things like that we have to go to as coaches. But we'll stay away from it, because it just gets a little too crowded, and it's, it tends to be, it's just an interesting dynamic, so we just try to stay away from it on Friday, and then we'll show up Saturday and early in the morning for us, earlier for the West Coast, but it'll be probably get up around 6 a.m. on Saturday, get going, and then we race it at 10:45 that time.
Coach, With Alice coming back, and you lost to CSU by 6 one time, what, 8 the next time? Or will, with a healthy Alice coming back, since she didn't race in the regional, is that enough? Can she make up those 6 or 8 points if she runs a good race?
Well, first of all, the result is a little misleading that Colorado they had some runners that were literally out there jogging around like we were. So they have a very solid woman that could be top 5 named Danny Jones that was 14th talking to her teammates. So Danny is the reigning NCAA champion on the track. She's an outstanding runner. So the dynamic of the race is just going to be very different. That race at the regionals was a very controlled race. It was very, Colorado and ourselves didn't push the pace. This race will be very different because once that gun goes off, it's going to absolutely fly. So instead of seeing at the regional meet, you saw 100 women all together at the mile mark, it is going to be single file at the mile mark at the national championship, and it's going to be, it's going to be a hard race.
What are the physical challenges of this track? How is it set up? What's the personality of it?
It's in a state park. It fits us. We've always had good results there. We were 10th with a team that went from 17th to 10th in the last 2K, and then obviously that's where we won in 2015. It's set up perfectly for us because it's not perfect ground. It's a little bumpy. It's a little bit undulating because it isn't a state park. It's not a perfectly manicured golf course. It is has some hills in the back end, which suits us well. But it's a good, solid course, and it's a very good spectator course.
Did you recruit Christina Aragon hoping to split the New Mexico connection?
Well, we did have conversations. Obviously, their family is rooted deep in New Mexico, and Stanford was a good choice for her.
It seems like over the last several years you have been really successful recruiting internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been a trend that's growing in every college? Is that something unique that you've been doing and has contributed to your success?
Well, we have obviously internationals on this team, but we also have a lot of domestic kids on this team. There are schools that recruit like we do, and there's some that don't. And that's their choice and how they do it. We're just trying to find the best student and the best athlete that we can get to the University of New Mexico, whether they're from Los Lunas or Albuquerque or Lubbock, Texas, or somewhere in Ireland. As long as they're good students and good people. The year that we won the national championship in 2015, we also had I think the highest GPA in the country that year. So that's what we're trying to promote.
This is Josh's first year in cross country.
Well, it's his first real year. His freshman year he ran, but it was not at any level that I would call adequate.
How do you see it now, running these longer distances fold into indoor and outdoor track?
Well, this for Josh, this race is the carrot. We're not putting a lot of pressure on it. Go out and have fun, make sure you're healthy, and most importantly, make sure you come out of this race healthy. That's the biggest issue, because then we start training for indoor and take a little bit of a break. But he's got some pretty high goals on the indoor season and outdoor season, and we want to do everything we can to help him reach those goals. So it's just making sure that he continues to make progress without taking a step backwards, because that can happen. You can get yourself in a real hole and take a couple of weeks to get out of, and we don't really have that time.
Can he win this race, realistically?
Can Josh win this race?
Yeah.
No. Josh, no. I want to say yes, but objectively, that's not the goal.
Coach, what about Edna now? Do you control how she seemed like she's been out in the front of the pack a few of the races? Are you controlling that? Does she control it? Who controls?
Well, there's different races that have happened at different times. So the first race at Notre Dame, it was her first race in a long time, a very long time, because she had to sit out. First cross-country race. So her, Wayne, and Alice really pushed hard. The second race was at Wisconsin, where they were a little more controlled early on. And then with 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters left, Edna really started putting it down. The conference meet was just flat out fast up here. When you're running at 5,200 feet, 5,300 feet at the golf course, and to hit the mile mark in 5:08, that's flying on that course. This last weekend, she was very, very controlled. She wore racing flats, didn't wear spikes, and was very controlled. Now we come back 8 days later, and we're gonna let her do what we do, which is, you know, see how the race is going, and then pick your point. And if you happen to feel good, then go. You may not feel good, but if you feel good, go.
Kids don't race back-to-back weeks except this, right? Right at the end?
Yeah, this is the only time all year you do this. So it's 8 days. So we didn't. We typically work out on Tuesdays. We didn't work out today. They'll work out very lightly tomorrow, because the only thing we're going to do now is mess it up. That's, you know, you do too much, you get tired. It's the only thing you're going to do as a coach is try to overthink it and do too much.
I wanted to ask about that first turn. Can that sabotage one of the top teams? Is it that?
I think the top teams are good enough where they'll get out comfortably enough. It's more if you're running in there's 255 women. If you're running in the 125s to 225s, that could become a problem because it's going to bottleneck.
Coach, because your team is a former champion, how are you treated by the big studs around the country, the other great teams? Do they treat you with respect? Do they treat you like you're one of the elite teams forever?
I don't know if track and cross country coaches think that way. We're a pretty collegial group that have, you know, like each other, whether you're at State University of wherever, blue shirt, or whether you're at one of the more elite private institutions in the United States. I think we all respect each other. We may not agree with what each other does, but we all have mutual respect for each other.
What's the long range forecast for the weather? I'm sure.
Light rain. Yeah, light rain. It's going to be, at least as of today, pretty dry up until Friday morning or Saturday morning. Then it'll start light rain, which is fine.
I like that you're wearing the turquoise jerseys too, because
We only wear those at national championships.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's in honor of our state and our university. You got to earn the right to wear turquoise. So if you ever see a track kid, cross country kid with any turquoise on, that means they represented the university in a national championship.
you can see it a mile away too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Unfortunately, so can everybody else. We used to hide, but it doesn't happen anymore.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.